Welcome back to Miles Reads. I'm Miles. Today we're exploring the book Fast-Paced, Slow Life. Hearing the title, you might assume this is a book about slowing down and enjoying life. On the contrary, it's a productivity guide designed to help you get faster. The core idea is that by saving time, you can achieve a slow-paced life within a fast-paced world. These days, who can live without the internet? If you walk out the door without your phone, don't you feel a bit like you're walking around naked? We're on Facebook, we're shopping online, we're checking email, students need to look up information, and professionals need to check their inboxes and order takeout. We can't escape these digital tools for a moment. As a result, our attention is shattered into a million pieces by countless trivial tasks. For the average person, how many chances do we really get to slow down? What if there were a way to break free from this whirlwind of activity? Would you be willing to give it a try? The author of Fast-Paced, Slow Life, David Levy, is just the person to help solve this problem. Levy is a professor at the University of Washington's Information School. His research initially focused on how to help people live slower, calmer lives with more space for deep thought. But as he dug deeper, he began to question his premise. Why always emphasize slow? In today's fast-paced era, wouldn't it be better to work more efficiently, faster, and smarter? By 2006, Levy had launched a course dedicated to exploring how to work and live more effectively. It was an instant hit. Students and faculty from the University of Washington, along with students from other universities across the country, flocked to enroll, and it unexpectedly became a wildly popular course. Levy distilled the essence of this course into his book, Fast-Paced, Slow Life, summarizing his approach in 4 core exercises: sharpening your focus, multitasking, the unplugging exercise, and honing your online craft. I'll now break down these 4 exercises for you. Harvard University once conducted a fascinating psychology experiment. Participants were asked to watch a video, just over a minute long, of 2 basketball teams, one in black jerseys, one in white, passing balls back and forth. Their task was to count the number of passes made by the team in white. Meanwhile, a person in a gorilla costume walked through the scene, even thumping their chest behind the players. After the video, the results showed that at least half of the participants completely failed to notice the gorilla. You might scoff and say, they just weren't paying attention. If it were me, I definitely would have seen it. However, this experiment has since been replicated countless times around the world, and the results are always just as stunning. At least half the people missed the gorilla. This is the famous invisible gorilla experiment. Everyone can't help but ask, how could half the people fail to see such a huge gorilla? The reality is that human attention is selective. We can only focus on a limited number of things. It's like using a flashlight to illuminate a pitch-black room. Point the beam in one direction, and you see the desk in the corner. Shift it slightly to the right, and only then do you see the coffee table and the lampshade above it. The interesting thing is, whatever the beam doesn't touch, we are blind to, as if it doesn't even exist. So, are we limited to noticing only one or a few things at a time? Not necessarily. The author explains that we have another mode of attention, like a flashlight with a much wider, more diffuse beam. When the circle of light is larger, you can see more things, but nothing is in sharp focus. Of course, in most situations, we use a mix of both focused and diffuse attention. Think about crossing the street. We are focused on the goal of getting to the other side, but our attention is also diffused, keeping an eye out for an electric scooter that might zip out at any moment. This is a state where focus and diffusion coexist. Some might say, is it really that hard to switch between focused and diffuse attention? It does, in fact, require skill. You have to consciously choose when to focus and when to let your attention diffuse, and master the timing of the switch between these 2 modes. If you can do that, you've grasped the core of the methods we're introducing today. Before we begin the exercises, let us look at the process. All the exercises follow the same 6 steps. Step 1. Perform the initial exercise. Step 2. Observe what you are doing and how you feel. Step 3. Journal everything you observed. Step 4. Review your journal entries and summarize your findings. Step 5. Formulate your own personal principles. Step 6. Share and discuss your discoveries with others. While the steps are the same, the emphasis of each exercise is different. Now let's break them down one by one. We'll start with the first exercise, sharpening your focus. Most office workers deal with a huge volume of email every day. But do you ever observe your email? What does that even mean? What's there to see? Here, observe doesn't mean scrutinizing every word. It means noticing. How do you feel when a new email arrives? What impact do these feelings have on you? Do you feel weighed down or happy? Does this mood affect the rest of your work? Imagine you've just returned from a long vacation. You open your inbox to a flood of dozens, maybe even hundreds, of unread emails. Do you feel instantly overwhelmed? Oh my God, so much to do. How long is this going to take? Every single one looks important, and they all feel like a huge pain. Does your energy just drain away, leaving you feeling completely unmotivated? Now, pay closer attention to your body. Is your neck stiff? Is your head leaning forward? Is your body tensed up and hunched over? Are you even holding your breath? These are all real reactions that the author's students have had. Before this, they never realized how much anxiety email caused them. It wasn't until they noticed the physical discomfort that it clicked. Wow, I really hate getting email. Funnily enough, some described checking email as feeling like swimming with your clothes on, while another felt like a puppy being dragged by its tail. Of course, some people feel happy when they receive a lot of emails. If that's you, congratulations, your first step is much smoother than most. In reality, it's not the email itself that affects us, but our relationship with the sender. An email from your boss at midnight asking for a report creates a very different kind of stress than an email from a friend inviting you out tomorrow. Ultimately, how you handle your email reflects how you handle interpersonal stress. When observing your email, there are a few key tips. First, it's not enough to just notice your physical and emotional reactions. You must write down everything you observe so you can reflect on it later. Second, it's best to do the exercise with a friend, or at least share your thoughts with them. This can deepen your own insights and might even inspire others to join in. Observation is the foundation for dealing with anything. Once we understand our reaction to stress, the focusing exercise becomes a natural next step. So, what does it mean to focus? It means deliberately forcing yourself to do only one thing, in this case, process email for a set period of time. The moment your attention wanders to something else, the very first thing you do when you catch yourself is to immediately return to your emails. Let us imagine a scenario. You're sitting on the couch with your laptop, as relaxed as possible. The emails come in 28 of them. What is this? People email me about everything and nothing. I bet most of this is junk. Oh right, I got that ad from Amazon, the one for buy 2 books, get 1 free. I should check that out. So you click over to Amazon, and you see books are on sale, purses are marked down, and that item you've been wanting forever is on promotion. Half an hour flies by before you snap out of it. Wait, wasn't I supposed to be processing my email? Get back to it. This one is a wedding invitation from a good friend. The wedding is on the 20th, and you have to be there. That one is from your boss, asking about last week's project progress. You need to think carefully about how to reply. Just then, you hear music. It's your roommate watching TV. I can't focus. Keep it down. You yell. Okay, the world is quiet again. Oh look, the family poodle has jumped onto the couch. Pet him, he is so soft. Maybe you can pet him while you reply. Should you buy him some dog food during the next Black Friday sale? Get back to the exercise. A client has emailed with a question. It's a major client, so you have to handle it carefully. Speaking of which, that client was so difficult last time, so annoying. Oops, you're distracted again. By the time you've finished all 28 emails, it's taken over an hour, and you've been pulled away and back more than a dozen times. This isn't going to work. Through the focusing exercise, you can clearly see what triggers your distractions. This helps you become more vigilant in the future and proactively avoid things that might break your concentration. Repeating this exercise strengthens your focus, just like lifting weights at the gym builds muscle. When you can concentrate better on the task at hand, your efficiency will naturally skyrocket. During the exercise, it's best to record your observations and discuss them with a friend, as this will help you draw conclusions and establish your own principles of behavior. Alright, through observation and focus, we've completed the exercise for sharpening attention. Just a reminder, Don't expect to succeed on the first try. When you fail, just think of it as a reminder that it's time to try multitasking. Keep a curious and open mind to better appreciate the process. Do you remember the two forms of attention? Now that we've covered focus, it's time to talk about diffusion. The second exercise, multitasking, is designed to address this. I'm guessing many of you already feel that something is off. Multitasking isn't that something our parents and teachers have criticized us for since we were kids? How can it be a good thing now? Is this some kind of trick? Don't worry. When your parents and teachers told you to focus, it was so you would do your homework properly. But today, with so many tasks to juggle, multitasking can actually improve efficiency. Besides, what the author is teaching is a form of focused multitasking. Multitasking means switching back and forth between two or more tasks. The key is to be aware of when and why your attention is switching. There are 3 techniques to pay special attention to here: concentrating, noticing, and choosing. For the first practice session, it's best to have a helper film you with a phone. Most of the time, we can't even remember what we did or how we switched from one task to another. For example, you intended to open Word to write an article, but then you checked your email, scrolled through Twitter, glanced at your social feed, watched a bit of a TV show, and clicked on a news alert. You remembered you hadn't finished your yogurt, and when you went to the fridge, you grabbed a few other snacks. You sat back down, cleaned your glasses, and straightened your clothes. The phone rang, you took the call, and at the same time, you opened the door to accept a package. With so much going on, who could possibly remember it all? Why did you switch? Were you conscious of it? Or was it automatic? Were you fully engaged in each task? The answers will determine your success. You need to wisely decide when to switch to which task, and once you switch, you need to be able to focus on completing it. Observing, recording, and sharing are still essential in this exercise. Doing so brings a triple benefit: higher productivity, time savings, and reduced stress. When you consciously switch between tasks, you are rapidly choosing the most efficient sequence for the current situation. Because you can calmly face multiple tasks, you become calmer and more self-disciplined. Does it sound complicated? All this talk of switching and choosing sounds very technical and difficult. But it's not. Not long ago, every deal hunter in the country skillfully applied this very set of techniques. That's right, I'm talking about Black Friday. Let me use my own experience as an example to make it clearer. Over 6 hours, I jumped between my computer, phone, and TV, and ended up buying all the fixtures for my renovation vanity lights, a mattress, light fixtures plus gifts for my parents, and a birthday present for a friend. What I went through is a classic example of focused multitasking. When faced with multiple tasks, I had to concentrate on each individual task while also maintaining a diffuse awareness of everything else, constantly prioritizing when to choose and switch. A limited time offer popped up, so I immediately dropped everything else to grab it. A busy customer service rep finally replied, so I seized the opportunity to ask more questions. As midnight approached, I paused all communication to focus entirely on snagging the most competitive, in-demand items. Does this example make it all click into place? Multitasking at work is very similar. The keys are: 1. Being able to handle multiple tasks at once. 2. Choosing only one task at a time to be your primary focus. 3. Concentrating your attention on that primary task. 4. Mastering the timing of when to switch tasks. Master these 4 steps and multitasking becomes a simple matter. After completing the sharpening your focus and multitasking exercises, we now have a clear understanding of how to handle the 2 forms of attention: focus and diffusion. Of course, mastering them is no easy feat. It might not go smoothly at first, but with an open mind and continuous practice, you'll get the hang of it. Now that we've talked so much about being fast, you might be wondering, can we still enjoy being slow? Of course. The third exercise, the unplugging exercise, is all about teaching you how to slow down. Unplugging means temporarily stepping away from electronic devices and the internet. Just as a good night's rest prepares you for a new day, unplugging is actually a way of recharging. It helps you stay energized and maintain a sensitivity to your surroundings, which in turn improves your efficiency and focus, maximizing relaxation and stress reduction. More importantly, when we unplug, we can reflect on our relationship with the internet. Do we really need it? When do we need it? For how long? This helps us find a balance between our online and offline lives. As we said before, we can't completely disconnect from the internet. Therefore, we should examine which of our online behaviors are beneficial and necessary so that we can use the internet more effectively in the future. The two key points of the unplugging exercise are: first, choosing which electronic device or website to take a break from, and second, deciding when to start unplugging. The author reminds us that everyone's online needs are different, so you can't just copy what others do. You must start from your own situation. Stepping away from the internet is definitely not easy. You can start by setting a small, achievable goal like no scrolling through Twitter for 2 hours, and then gradually extend the time and scope. There are 3 other things to keep in mind. First, put your devices away and turn off app notifications. Second, pay close attention to what causes you to fail at unplugging. And third, participate in other activities to distract yourself. As with the previous exercises, don't forget to observe and record your behavior while unplugged. The more carefully we observe and the more we reflect, the better the results of unplugging will be. For the sharpening your focus, multitasking, and unplugging exercises, one thing is crucial. It's best to get a few friends to join you. This way, you can gain multiple perspectives, spark new ideas, and hold each other accountable. Now, let us move on to the final exercise, honing your online craft. The author introduces an interesting idea. Using the internet is a craft. Continuously honing this craft can greatly boost your efficiency. The book provides a method for honing this craft, which includes 3 stages: prepare, act, and conclude, each with its own set of requirements. In the prepare stage, you should clarify your intention, focus your attention, relax your body and mind, and try to create a distraction-free environment. In the act stage, you should constantly remind yourself of your purpose for being online and make wise choices. Finally, at the conclude stage, you should review the entire session, reflecting on what helped or hindered you, and when you naturally paused or stopped the activity. These 3 stages form a virtuous cycle. Do you see it? This one exercise integrates the skills from the first 3. During the act stage, learning to master the timing of your choices is crucial. When you consciously practice choosing or not choosing, you are taking control of your online activity. This feeling of being in complete control improves our mood, and that confidence quietly reduces our stress. In the previous exercises, the author repeatedly emphasized the importance of observation, which is the focus of the conclude stage. And the ability to pause and stop is at the heart of all the exercises. Stopping is what allows us to move forward more effectively. That is the core content of fast-paced, slow life. Through 4 exercises, this book shows us that in a fast-paced world, if you want to enjoy a slow life, you must first learn how to handle the fast pace. Hone your online craft, concentrate on everything you do, learn to switch flexibly between multiple tasks, and unplug from time to time to experience life. These are the best techniques for a slow life. Get it? At the very end of the book, there are also 2 handy mini exercises for attention and templates for journaling, which you can use to get started. Finally, I'd like to share a few of my own thoughts on this book. First, the pace of modern urban life is getting faster and faster. If we can't cope with it effectively, we will miss out on so many opportunities. Of course, you may just want to live a quiet life, but if you don't even know how to handle a fast pace, how can you truly enjoy the present moment? Besides, what if one day you suddenly want to, or have to, face a fast-paced environment and find that you're completely unprepared? Wouldn't that be a shame? Second, knowing yourself is crucial. If you don't even understand your own habits, preferences, and abilities, it's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed, let alone find a work and lifestyle that suits you. Third, there is a solution to every problem. Don't just keep grinding away without a plan. Of course, no method works overnight. The key is persistence.